I have Stan Chapron, who's Chief Executive Officer for France for Marsh. Thank you for talking to us this morning.
Thank you.
Really, could you start by talking to me about the big issues that you think are facing French business today?
I think let's say mainly we are today for the big gathering of risk managers of large groups in France and some others in Europe. And the big challenges is to find areas for growth, expansion, mostly out of Europe and more in the emerging countries. So on our side in Marsh, okay, the challenge, and we love challenges, is to accompany them and make them be competitive, and also find that risk can be opportunities for growth and for development outside of France and outside of Europe.
And that brings in itself risk, though, doesn't it? I mean,
it brings risk, it brings new risk, it can bring political risk, it can bring credit risk, it can bring surety problems, it can bring some cat-nat exposure, which are new or can be different because of countries where you go. And so that brings new opportunities for Marsh to be on the side of the clients and make them be successful because they manage better the risk than their competitors. So,
do you think that the financial crisis has accelerated the move towards emerging markets, or would this have happened anyways? Is Europe a sort of saturated market for other business?
No, the trend was already there for large French groups or for large continental Europe groups. Well, the trend was already there. They were more investing a large part of the capex outside of the Eurozone or the continental Europe zone. So it's a trend. Is it growing a bit faster? It depends on the sector or the client. But yeah, for some clients, yeah. The pace now is more outside of the boundaries that they had before.
And in terms of the emerging markets themselves, which particular regions do you think offer the most opportunity for business?
There's a mix for French groups. It's not only Asia, because a lot of people think about Asia. Africa, because of the history with the French-speaking African countries, is also an area for growth, Mike. And Latin America, of course. Yeah. So Brazil is still clearly in the radar of development for large French group. Russia also is an area for expansion, but Africa and Asia too.
If I could just pin you down for one last question.
Sure.
If you could pick one particular risk that you think will perhaps be more significant than any other this year, what might that be? What's
I would take two.
Okay, you can have two.
I would take two. Supply chain.
Yep.
Because of the reorganization it creates, and political.